my name is Gareth. You're watching the Hub Online Network, and tonight we got Mike Bhanghu, and we're just after the All Candidates Forum. So sorry about the impromptu setting that we're in today, but we take them as we can get them. So let's let Mike introduce himself.
Hello there. My name is Mike Bhanghu. I'm running in this provincial election as an MLA candidate in the Fraser Nicola riding. Oh, and I stand as an independent candidate, and I do so because I feel I can better represent you.
Awesome. So here you are. It's 2020. Now you've decided to run. So oh, wait, I turned myself off there. What was it that made you say to yourself, MLA is the thing for me, and I need to make sure that I get in there to try and make things better?
Well, currently I'm a city councillor for the City of Merritt, and I felt that it was time for a bigger arena, an arena where I can make more positive change. And this is something that has been in the back of my mind for 20 years. My first election, I won it in high school. I ran again in college. So politics and a desire to help my communities has always been there. Now, that said, when I was about 25, that had changed. The desire to enter politics had changed. And I decided to really understand my place in the world, how the world operates. And I was hoping that there might be solutions and problems that could be forwarded.
So you're a city councillor now. How long have you been a councillor for?
Oh, 2 years.
Okay. Now you also seem pretty young. Maybe not as young as our Green Party candidate.
Oh, I'm 43.
Oh, gee, well, you aged well.
It's lifestyle, I think. I live a very healthy lifestyle.
Cool. So what are, if you, because I can't really say what's your party's platform because you're not with a party. So maybe if you were to talk about the larger scope of what you don't like, and then talk about the things that you are running for with your particular platform.
Sure. Well, I think we all feel it. Something is not right. Communities are regressing and not progressing. The human condition is suffering, and it should not be this way in such a wealthy province. And I feel if I'm able to tackle the 4 areas that I continuously speak of, the family, the retiree, small business, and the mental health and addiction pandemic, we can get the ball rolling in the right direction. We again can begin to progress. But as is, we can do much better.
Do you, running as an independent, do you think that it's different than running as a party? Like, do you feel that it's more challenging maybe?
Oh, it's a massive challenge. I'm here campaigning by myself. I'm putting up the signs by myself. I'm developing my communications. I'm taking care of the administration. It is a lot of work. I'm on 2-3 hours sleep every day. I eat a meal a day, but that's okay because it's worth it. It's worth it.
As you're traveling by yourself, have you been to all of the parts of the riding before, or is this sort of your first time traveling the whole area?
I've been to many of the ridings before, but not all of them.
So everybody at home kind of gets to know you a little bit. What are some hobbies you have, some extra jobs that you do, or at home, are you a city councillor full-time, or do you have a job that you have on top of that?
Well, I write. I'm a NonFiction author. I've released over 10 books. I have been engaged in this type of activity for 15 years. And really, the reason I started to share my ideas is because I thought I did, and I do identify how we can move communities forward. What was the second part of that question? What else do I do?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm a nonfiction author. I also work in the Vancouver film industry as an actor. You know, this year I just finished work on Jurassic World.
Oh, awesome.
Which is coming out next year. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. I encourage everyone and anyone to dabble in acting, at least. In particular in BC, the industry is right in Vancouver, and it's massive.
Yeah. Okay, what kind of nonfiction books do you write?
My specialties are political philosophy,
Okay.
Western culture, and world theologies. So initially, when I started writing, I delved into political philosophy. And through the book, A Beautiful Destruction, I identify the regression the entire country has faced. For example, the cost of living has skyrocketed to over 130% in the past 30, 40 years. Wages 1 to 10%. The savings account is virtually extinct. So from there, I moved to world theologies, only because there was many answers, many questions that I did not have an answer to, and I did not find them in the political arena. And I did find them in the theological arena. From there, I moved to understanding Western culture. Now, why did I delve through all of these different fields? Again, going back to that initial question, what is my place in this world? And what is the most purposeful thought, action I can engage in that has the most meaning? And at the end of it all, it is to serve. And it is to serve with good ideas.
That's quite profound. So you, City Council, have you done any other campaigning? Have you ever done this before?
Well, I managed my City Council campaign. I ran that all by myself. I've assisted others with their campaigns. For example, Ralph Pointing, who ran federally maybe a decade ago, I managed his campaign. And since my 20s, I've been involved in politics, helping different candidates get to the positions that they are. Okay. Currently, you know, there's three MLAs that I assisted, you know, in the past 20 years.
So living in Merritt, it's a little. Sorry, let me rephrase this. One of the things that people have said about independence in the past is, so for example, you're in Merritt. The fear is that you're going to worry about Merritt specifically, even though we're in such a vast riding. So what are some of the things that you're going to do, that you want to do for Merritt, and some of the visions that you have for the Fraser Canyon, the northern part of our riding, such as Lillooet and Clinton? Yeah. What are some other more specific things that you're looking at trying to accomplish?
Well, what I need to do is I need to understand the communities better. I need to understand their uniqueness better. And I think I'll be able to do that once elected, and I'm there with the resources to gather data. But really, the 4 areas that I speak of, we're all affected by it. And not just this riding, this province, this country. And I strongly feel if we can address these 4 areas, everything else will start taking care of itself.
Right. Okay.
Oh, and the fear of me representing Merritt over other communities, that's not real. I don't operate that way. I do not choose favorites. I do my best to try to treat everyone equal.
What is it then that turns you off from a political party?
it's the structure of a political party. For example, you might have a local representative here, but since they're affiliated to a political party, they must do what their political party asks, regardless if it's in the best interest of the local constituents. Moreover, if you don't speak as they speak, they will discipline you. If you don't do as they ask you to do, they will discipline you. The box that they put elected officials in does not truly serve the constituents, nor the individual. It must be very tough for an elected official to be put into that box and not be able to express themselves. I don't know if I can handle that, because I have good ideas. They're well thought of ideas, well researched ideas, and I strongly feel these ideas can move our province forward. And I don't see these ideas being forwarded by any of the parties. Perhaps if they were forwarding the similar ideas, if they were identifying the regression, I might stand with them. But none of them are doing it. They're not presenting viable solutions. They are watching us suffer.
So, and correct me if I'm saying this wrong. So one of the things that you want to do is help the retiree.
Absolutely.
So what, if you can be more specific, what is not being done to help the retiree now, and what do you feel is a way that the retirees can be helped?
Well, firstly, they gave 30, 40 years of their life to the system under the impression that they would experience some type of golden years. That is not happening. That is not happening because it just isn't enough money in their pocket. If we can put more money in the pockets of retirees, I don't think they will suffer as they are. And in my opinion, they are suffering. When they don't have enough money in their pocket, they cannot develop the hobbies that they were looking forward to. They can't socialize when they want to. They can't go and enjoy a cup of coffee with their friend. That's not right. They're treated as unneeded subjects of slavery, unfortunately, and that just is not right. So one initiative immediately that I will work towards is getting the province to offer every retiree a $500 monthly bonus subsidy. And I know typically it's the feds that hand out money to the retirees, but every level of government needs to step up. Every level of government needs to help our retirees. They gave their life to the system. They built these communities, and now we discard them. I can't have that.
Do you think that COVID-19 has made this problem worse?
Oh, yes. There's many, many questions. Firstly, I feel Interior Health is not providing enough information. It feels as if we're in the dark. And did we truly need to shut down communities, shut down business? Because the impact that it had on folks already hurting, it pushed some over the edge. And absolutely, COVID affected us all. And those already isolated, which elderly folk unfortunately are, it compounded the problem for them. That little outing that they would take to the grocery store, well, they weren't taking it anymore. And it had an impact. We have to find another way to deal with the COVID situation without shutting down communities. It just doesn't make sense.
Another a piece of your platform is identifying small businesses.
Yes.
So again, you get in and you're able to bring some solid power to helping small businesses. What is it, again, specifically that you're looking to accomplish with that?
What I like to do is help them keep more of the money they earn. And that's what I continuously hear out there, is that they're not able to keep as much money as they need to keep. What we need to do is reduce their taxes. And if I have my way, I'll slash it by 50%. Now, what will that do? That'll help them grow. That'll help them create jobs. It'll have an amazing ripple effect. I don't understand why governments are not supporting small business, why they haven't supported small business. It's as if they don't want them to be successful. I have a different perspective. I want small businesses to be very successful. They are the backbone of our communities.
I recently went to Merritt specifically, and it feels like there's a lot of small businesses in the downtown area. But I've only been there a few times in the downtown core. Normally, when I go there, I sort of am passing through on the highway. In your view, because I'm thinking that you know Merritt probably better than the rest of the riding right now. Is Merritt specifically in some sort of small business decline?
I would say yes. COVID has had an impact. I saw one storefront shut down. It was very unfortunate. It was a new establishment, new business, and they just could not survive COVID. Moreover, the rental costs are outrageous, and this is preventing many from getting into business. This is forcing many to close their doors. So I would like to see the business rental costs come down, and I will work on that immediately.
I've never seen. I've heard of independents being elected. I've never seen one in action. Only because, like when I'm watching the legislature, I've never seen an independent stand up and have a bit of a speech. I typically follow our main parties. Yeah. So, how do you feel that your voice would be heard as an independent in amongst the giants of politics?
Well, we've seen successful independents. Vicky Huntington from Delta South, who represented her constituents for 2 terms, and she did an amazing job. She did an amazing job because she was not trapped inside a party box. Now, what can I do when I get in there? It's my nature, it's my character to be heard. I have good ideas, and I will not be silenced. These ideas will resonate. These ideas will gain ground, and others will jump on board.
I do know your platform. I do a twice weekly news show, and I do since the beginning of the election. I've been following you, and I have been touting everybody, but I've been reading yours as well. But at this moment, you have retirees, you have small businesses, and I know that there's a couple other points, but they're eluding me at this moment.
The family.
Okay, so let's talk about the family.
Yes. Why is it so difficult for an individual to build a family? It's ridiculous. We're in a developed country, and yet our young are having heartaches, headaches, putting together a family. And this has a lot to do with the cost of living. It's outrageous. The cost of housing is outrageous. We are setting our country back by not allowing British Columbians, or Canadians for that matter, to have children, to have families. One thing I'd like to do immediately is advocate for some type of grant funding for every newlywed so that they can start their future. And perhaps this will encourage people to get married and start families. Because I know myself, the cost of living has made it extremely difficult for me to establish a family. And it's something that I sometimes feel is out of reach for me. And as the years go on, it just seems harder and harder. I don't want others to go through this. It should not be a struggle to start a family. It should not be the way it is. We are better than this.
In your time as, and we're going to get to your another point on your platform, but what was a time on council that you succeeded at putting a motion forward, getting something put through, or have there been just so many challenges on the municipal level?
One thing I've learned through City Hall is that you don't necessarily need to make a motion to get things done. It's working with the bureaucrats.
Okay.
It's being friendly. It's talking to them. It's planting seeds and watching those seeds grow. So that's what we've done in Merritt. And I have forwarded motions before, which I'm trying to remember which ones were successful. Off the top of my head, I don't remember. But I do know that, for example, I was adamant when we first got in that we revamp our communications. It was a fight because initially folks didn't understand communications. They didn't know what I was talking about. But eventually, we've revamped our look. We've revamped our website. We've revamped how we present information. So it was extremely successful. And in that case, initially it was butting heads. But then I started to plant seeds. And then I saw those seeds grow. And eventually we have an amazing communications look now. And as a part of a team, because that's what a council is, we've managed to move Merritt forward. Folks, when they were attempting to do business in Merritt a few years back, were banging their head against the wall, and that wasn't right. So we've taken steps to eliminate a lot of that red tape and making it much easier for folks to interact with Merritt. And you'll see that. We got great things going on.
If you had all the money, like you're in the legislative assembly, and you put something on the floor, and they throw all the money at it that you want to do, what would be one big project that you have as like a bucket list, wish list thing for our riding?
I don't have one big project in mind. My focus are the 4 areas that I mentioned, because I know they'll improve communities across the riding. They will improve lives. They will improve minds. And imagine what that does. So I will be focusing on the family, small business, the retiree, and the mental health and addictions pandemic. And it is a pandemic. If we don't get a grasp on this thing now, we will not be progressing. It doesn't matter how much money we continuously dump into communities. When we have a minority group in a community that is sick and that is really draining the resources of that community, the community has a difficult time moving forward. It's a drain not only on the infrastructure, but on the people of the community. So it's vital that we tackle mental health and addictions immediately. And this is why I am forwarding that every community have a state-of-the-art mental health, a state-of-the-art drug rehabilitation facility. And why every community? One thing I've noticed is that when one community does create a rehab center, well, then you get the at-risk from every other surrounding community. And this applies stress on the community that has that at-risk center. For this reason, each community needs their own. And this problem is massive. It's huge, and it's only going to get worse if we don't take action now. And not just developing state-of-the-art rehabilitation facilities, we need to introduce new perspectives, because what we've been doing, or what government has been doing, isn't working. There's elements that they don't even think about or talk about. And I'd like to present that perspective, if you will.
Having been around the province a lot myself, and having seen several people with addiction issues and mental health issues, is there, on top of having a rehab facility in every community, what, whether, is there other things that we can do to help circumvent opioid deaths,
Yes.
and or stop addiction altogether?
Yes, we need to do more to prevent. We are not educating. We are not taking the appropriate steps to prevent one from exploring that option. We seem to live in a society where anything goes. Try it once. This sort of thinking is not right, because that try it once has led to this pandemic. So we do need to educate. We do need to take proactive measures. We need to get some sort of education within the public education system that is teaching folks about the consequences of this particular hard drug. And, we need to start teaching folks on how to enjoy their free time without substances. So it's giving the human condition the tools to survive, and then those that have fallen victim to hard drugs, giving them the tools to recover. And what I've noticed is that there is a correlation between mental health and drug addictions, and then crime. So if we do deal with mental health and drug addictions, our crime will naturally come down. And crime is a massive problem in every community. It's taking a toll. And there's only so much that the RCMP can do. We need to empower them more, and at the same time, we need to deal with our drug addiction problems and our mental health concerns.
I had one. It's late. Man. I do this all the time. I should write these things down.
It's all good.
Dang it. Sorry, it'll come back to me. Just give me 1 sec. Oh, okay. So, in that case, this is a little bit off topic from, whatever.
Off topic is good.
One of the
It's always
big things
fun.
going on in the North America, let's say, is the defund police movement. So in talking about the opioids and mental health stuff specifically, do you feel that RCMP need more funding, more social workers that go with them, less funding to fund more social workers to go with them? Where do you sit on that kind of camp?
I strongly feel that defunding the police is not a good idea. Where will we be as a society if we defund those entrusted to protect us? I would advocate for more funding being given to the RCMP, because they do need help. They do need help dealing with mental health and drug addictions. So defunding the police just does not work for me.
Is there anything else that you would like to say to the voters to get them behind you?
Well, you've heard what I've had to say,
Mm-hmm.
and if you feel as I do, if you feel our communities are regressing, show me your support. I can make the change that we require. And an independent can make a difference. Do not listen to the party rhetorics. They fear an individual like me because I am not constrained or restrained by their party platform or their box. I'm free to speak freely. I'm free to represent my constituents freely. So for these reasons, I believe I am the best candidate in this election here.
Last question I have for you. Jurassic World spoilers.
I'm not even sure if I should have mentioned that.
I'm just kidding.
But now that I did,
Anyway, so
I think it's out next year.
That's awesome. So thank you very much for coming in. I really appreciate you staying behind and letting me have this opportunity to have this chat with you.
Yeah.
And I look forward to talking about you for my next 3 news shows before the election. And to everybody watching at home, if you haven't checked out the All Candidates meeting, Mike rocked it out of the park, so be sure to check that out. And thanks again, and we'll see you, we'll follow you attentively.
Thank you.